Hey, Motorman here, and again I'm at Newport Richey Harley Davidson. I'm about to take a Softail Standard for a ride. First we'll go over the motorcycle a little bit, then we'll take it out. This is the Softail Standard. This happens to be a 2020 model, but there are no changes to the 2021. And I'm going to be taking this motorcycle out. This is your basic bike. Nothing you don't need. It's a minimalist bobber. This one happens to have some aftermarket saddlebags on it, so you know that yes, you can get saddlebags both from Harley Davidson and the aftermarket. In fact, just about anything you want for a Harley Davidson is available from them or the aftermarket. I don't think there's any other motorcycle manufacturer that has so many accessories available and customization parts than Harley Davidson. This is the least expensive big twin from Harley, and that's why they call it the Standard. Very similar to the Street Bob, without all the blacked out covers and without the Gator Type 4 covers. Alright, the first thing I notice upon getting on this bike and starting it up is it's got aftermarket exhaust on it. These are Vance and Hines, and they are loud. I don't think there's any baffles in them. They're not straight pipes, but no baffles as far as I could tell. And we have the typical gauge you find on the Street Bob, as well as the Softail Standard. We go through some of, right now it's on RPMs, and of course there's your miles per hour. By the way, this half glove is because I have to press the buttons on the camera. They're very tiny, and it makes it much easier. If this bothers the PC Motorcycle Police on YouTube, even better. So we'll switch it over. This bike has 4,530 miles on it. It's broken in. Reserve, we got 152 miles left for gas. There's of course the time, and back to the RPMs. The one I couldn't figure out, I guess, was trip odometer. First thing I notice is a very low seat height. Whether you're tall or short, you could ride this motorcycle. Knees are up kind of high on these mid pegs. For somebody my height, that's not a problem, but some days I identify as a 6'3" person, and yes, on those days it would be a problem. In actuality, I'm 5'7", so I'm identifying as 5'7" today, no big deal. And yes, the exhaust is loud. Now this bike comes with the 107 motor only. There's no option on it. If you wanted the 114, you got to go to the new Street Bob. 2021s will have the 114. This is still the 107. Of course, 6-speed transmission. Now the Mini Apes are the same as on the new Street Bob, except these, of course, are chrome instead of blacked out. And right now they are adjusted too far up for somebody my height. I'd rather have some pull it back about 3 inches or so, easily adjustable with these 4 bolts. That's the good thing about Mini Apes, is you can adjust them forward or backwards quite a bit so that it's comfortable for you. As usual with Harley Davidson big twins, there's a lot of torque right off of idle. Now I'm going to compare this bike to the Triumph Bobber, the test bike that I've got for a few more months. Even though it's probably about $1,800 more for this. Once you add, I think the list price on this is about $13,900, and if you want ABS, it's another $785, something like that. I'll put the actual figures up on the screen, but as I remember, that's about what it is. And the Triumph Bobber is about $13,400, and ABS is standard. When I say standard, that means they've already included it in the price. A lot of people say, well, they should come, ABS should be standard on all the bikes like they do in Europe. Well, in Europe, yeah, all the bikes have to have ABS, but they just add that into the price of the motorcycle. It's not like they're giving it to you free. I can tell you the ride on this bike is definitely softer than the Triumph. In other words, it's not a soft ride, but it's not near as firm as on the Triumph bobber. The riding position with the ape hangers, my hands are up high, just probably 3 inches below my shoulders. And as I said, that's not the ideal riding position for me. But you know, if you're 6'4", it probably fits you just fine. Of course, if you're 6'4", the mid controls might not be too comfortable for you. Of course, Harley Davidson has forward controls for this bike that you can add, and then if you're 6'4", you can stretch out and probably be in a much more comfortable position. The exhaust, it does sound nice, no question about that, but it's loud. Handling that's pretty good. I think you've got 28 degrees of lean angle before the pegs start to scrape, which is not the best, but it's better than a Sportster, and probably about average for a cruiser class motorcycle. Now, of course, you're going to hear some wind noise on this video because, well, there's no windshield. And that's okay. Right now I'm doing 55. You get up around 60, 65, it could get tiring on a long ride. So on a bike like this, you could either add a windshield, which a lot of the purists would scoff at, or the latest fashion, which is a Memphis Warrior type fairing, which I think looks better than just a windshield. Harley Davidson also has a fairing available, but I understand they're pretty hard to get, and they're considerably smaller than the Memphis Shades fairing. On the Memphis Shades, you get several choices of the height of the windshield. On the Harley Davidson fairing, there's just one size, and it's not much of a windshield. It's going to help, probably keep some of the wind off your chest, but you're still going to get probably blasted from the neck up. And there are other manufacturers too making fairings for a variety of bobber type motorcycles or standard bikes. So I just happened to mention Memphis Shades because they're probably the biggest. If you saw my video at Bike Week, I asked them, I actually spoke to Mr. Memphis himself. And asked him if they were going to make a fairing for the bobber, for the Triumph bobber, and he said, nope, not just not enough of them around to make it worthwhile. Plus, they've got 3,500 orders on backlog for bikes like this, so this is their bread and butter. As on every Harley Davidson, self-canceling signals are standard equipment. I think they should have them on every motorcycle, but unfortunately that's not the case. On the Triumph bobber, you've got to remember to cancel those signals yourself. So I guess you could say it's self-canceling because you cancel them yourself. But you know what I mean, automatic on the Harley Davidsons, put the signal light on, make your turn, and somehow the motorcycle knows you've made the turn and shuts the signal lights off for you. The seat on this bike is on the firm side. I would guess it'd be good for probably 100 miles before it really gets to you. But I like the way the motorcycle handles. The front end feels very light, and it's probably due to the front tire is kind of on the skinny side. So the thinner the tire, the less pressure needed to turn the handlebars. So if you're in the market for a bobber, or minimalist motorcycle, definitely check out the Harley Davidson. They've got quite a few of them, from the Sportster line through the Softail line. Is definitely not lacking for power. This bike weighs about 650 pounds, so that 107 is more than enough, more power than you'll ever need. But of course, if you want the 114 motor, it's going to cost you at least another $500 to get the 2021 Street Bob instead of the Standard. These bikes, the Standard is something you got to think of as a blank canvas. Add what you like, customize it to your liking. And as I said, there are thousands of customizing accessories available for this motorcycle. And in fact, any Harley Davidson is one of the benefits you get with a Harley. Whatever you could think of, somebody's making it. This is a fun motorcycle to ride because of all that torque. It looks great. Paint quality, as usual, for Harley is excellent. And if you like these reviews, I hope you give me a thumbs up, subscribe, click that little notification bell, so every time I come out with a new video, you'll be notified immediately. Until next time, this is Motorman signing out. Keep the shiny side up.